Hello everyone and welcome to My Elevated Lifestyle. I'm your host, Amy Griffith. If you frequent this podcast, welcome back. Love to see you. If you guys are new here, welcome. You're in for a treat. We are currently in the middle of my first ever mini series, Sell on Social. So I highly recommend, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, start there. We talk about content that converts. I give you guys the simplest system in the whole entire world to give you a basis of something you can take action on right away, today, within your content, within your personal brand. Implement it straight away. And then we're gonna go into, on this episode today, learning your buyer, learning your ideal consumer, what they're thinking, how they feel, and how to talk to them, how to speak to them through your content. It's gonna be an absolute game changer in your guys' businesses. So if you are also in the network marketing space like myself, amazing, this will be great for you. But anyone in any sort of entrepreneurial role or thinking of doing such a thing, this will be great for you because it gives you the skill sets that you need to actually sell, have conversion, have orders going through, have yeses coming through. Because I know for a lot of us, we are just hoping for the best. We're posting just to get something out there. We're just doing more because we were told to do more, and eventually something will land. Like, I've been there, I've done that, I've taught that, like, I get it. But now really it's time we're in the middle of 2026 right now, you guys. If you are building a brand on social, if you're selling something on social media and really honing in on that attraction marketing, which I'm so glad that you are, it's so important, it's so powerful. And it's game changing to be able to do this and know this. And it's a skill, you can learn. And we're learning it right now together, okay? And I also want to say as well, like, some of this might be overwhelming if you haven't really learned about this before. It's new, you're just getting started. It feels like there's so much to learn. I just want to remind you guys, like, take it one bit at a time. Like, take it one piece at a time. Implement the skills right away. Like, the best thing you guys can do, I would rather you listen to half, of last week's episode and then implement what you've learned straight away, rather than binging all of these, feeling overwhelmed, and then doing nothing. Like, that doesn't do anything for you. You need to take action on the back end of what you've learned. So that's just my hot tip for you guys. It'll help you have so much more success and not feel so overwhelmed. Getting into action straight away is the best thing you can ever do for yourself and for your business. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode, learning, knowing, and creating for your ideal consumer. Let's make this so clear, you guys. No matter who you are, no matter your experience, no matter how long you've been in business, no matter what your position is, your title, whatever, you right now are the most equipped person to help who you once were. No matter what, even if you just started your business today, you're one step ahead of the person who hasn't gotten started yet, who hasn't figured out what this product is yet, or this service, or whatever it is. You are now the expert as you start to learn and as you start to grow, because you have a story, because you can share your insight and what has helped you take that next step. And I just want to give you guys that permission to really step into that. Like, that's so important to feel that energy of, like, okay, I am the most equipped person to help that person because I'm here now and I'm doing this now and I'm pursuing it now and I know I'm going all into it. Okay, yeah, I can help them, okay? And remembering that you are your ideal consumer. For the most part, most likely, I hope so, right? Selling something and promoting something that you love and that you believe in and that you would want to buy yourself is really, really important. And it comes through when you're doing attraction marketing, when you're posting that on social media. Like, it needs to be a part of your lifestyle, something you really trust and believe in. Oh, almost kicked you guys over there. Whoa, okay, there we go. So if you don't get clear on who you want to work with, you'll be unclear, obviously, uncertain, and it won't speak to anyone. So I've done this as well, and I know lots of you guys are doing this too, where you're kind of just speaking to everyone, like, it's so great, it's great for everyone and anyone can do it. And you don't want to put anyone in a box. You don't want to shut anyone out where they see your content and they're like, oh, that's not for me because it's only for so and so and so. But there really is so much power in being so clear as to who you want to do business with, who you want to work with, who you want your clients to be. You get to choose that as a business owner. I think we forget that. We try to be open to anyone and everyone, but it doesn't, it makes people really confused, because usually we're confused because we don't actually know who we want on our team. We don't know who we want as clients, who we're trying to help. And then if we're confused, we don't really know, they don't really know either. Okay, so we need to get clear, so that other people can feel clear, right? If we feel certain, if we feel confident and excited, that's gonna be translating in our content. That's gonna be how other people are feeling from us. Let's get into buyer's psychology, okay? There are 1 to 5 types of buyers, and we're gonna talk about how to talk to them. And I've written all this down because these are things I'm learning and implementing as I go. So I wanna make sure that I'm really sharing with you guys the right things. So we need to know our types of buyers, because when you are then creating content, you can be like, okay, this is for a 1, this is for a 3, this is for a 5. When you're posting on your stories, when you're doing anything, you're gonna now have an underlying understanding of this is who I'm speaking to. And if it doesn't speak to any of these buyers, you probably shouldn't be posting it because it's not gonna help your business grow, okay? That's how good this is. So we're gonna go through 1 to 5 different types of buyers and how to talk to them, not just who they are, but how you can speak to this person. So this is a great episode to take notes on. Number 1 is the buyer or the person who has no idea that they have a problem. They have no idea. They're scrolling, they're enjoying, they're not looking for anything. Like, they're just not looking for anything, right? They have no idea that there's a problem. We're gonna call it a problem, not like it's a big, huge problem or whatever it might be, but everyone has things that they could have enhanced or have better. Like, you don't know there's a problem. I was just shopping with my mom in HomeSense yesterday. It was Mother's Day and we went whole shopping thing. She's walking through the aisle. She's like, I didn't know I needed all these things until now I'm in this store. Suddenly, like, I need this and I need this and I didn't even realize, right? You don't know you're missing something until you see it and you're like, oh, that would be really helpful, right? So they don't know there's a problem. How you speak to this buyer where there's no connection, there's nothing like that yet, is by speaking to the symptoms, not the problem. A lot of people go straight into, here's the problem and here's how I can help you fix it. Here's your problem, here I can help you fix it. If these people aren't even looking for a solution to anything right now, they're just scrolling, they're just looking around on social media, they just want to feel something, they want to feel inspired, they want to laugh, they want to whatever, like, that content is not going to speak to them, right? This is why so many people who are creating such amazing educational how-to tips and tricks, like content they've put so much time, effort, and energy into, and it is really great content and it's very informative, that it doesn't actually go anywhere and it doesn't convert, is because it doesn't let anyone in. It doesn't create desire. It doesn't create like curiosity and interest. It's just speaking to a problem that they don't even know that they have. So you gotta highlight the symptom first for these people to then come in, okay? So I talked a lot about this on last week's episode of what the symptom actually is, right? It's that feeling of, oh, I'm bloated, or I don't feel very well, or I'm really tired, or my hair is really frizzy, or I'm not getting a lot of followers, so my stuff's not converted, whatever it is, right? It can be anything like that. It's just like a symptom. You kind of feel some type of way, right? So an example of how I could speak to someone about their symptom, and I'm gonna go with my ideal, business partner that I would be looking to attract. I'm just gonna go with my own example. This is what I would do. So I'm trying to attract girls who are in their 20s or their 30s. Maybe they're also getting married right now, like talking to a lot of fiancés. A lot of my content is fiancé style, bridal style, because that's my current reality right now. My wedding's less than 2 months away. Of course, that's like a part of my life. That's who I'm talking to. Those are the girls. They're usually in their later 20s, 30s, and my ideal person, they work full-time and they want something else. That's who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to the people who love their job right now and what they do and are pursuing full in on that. Like, I'm not speaking to those people. You absolutely can. I know so many people in the network marketing space specifically who love their full-time careers and also are building a fat savings account with their network marketing business alongside. And they're speaking to a different type of person. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right or there's no wrong. You just kind of need to know who you want to talk to. I was the girl who was busy, full-time student, working full-time, not full-time, part-time, full-time student, busy, didn't know of another way. Didn't know there was something else, but I had that symptom of, I want to work for myself, I have no idea how. That's where I was at. Anyway, so this is who I'm talking to. So my example could be, you know, within my content, sharing something around like, you know, you're spending all day inside, the sun is shining outside, you're working on something that you don't feel passionate about, you'd rather be outside, you'd rather be creating, you'd rather be doing honestly anything else other than being in your cubicle right now, right? Like that's the symptom, okay? And that's just an example, right? You could say it's draining, I just don't feel inspired, I'm not excited about my future, like feelings. Those are the symptoms, right? And little air quotations just so you understand, like symptoms is that thing underlying that you feel, you kind of acknowledge, but it's not really a problem yet, it's just how you feel, okay? So that's one example. There could be so many. Symptom could be, I was using it last week, I'm bloated. I am bloated, I feel puffy, I feel way more tired than usual. That's a symptom. So when you're creating content, you need to be speaking to symptoms in order to draw people into your page, into who you are. If there's no symptom acknowledgement, you're gonna struggle. No one's gonna eat, no, the interest is not gonna come, okay? So that's number one. Number one buyer has no idea that there is even a problem. How do you talk to them? You lead with symptom-based language, sorts of stuff, the befores, right? You could use your own personal story, the before, how you felt, whatever. Number two, this buyer knows that they have a problem, they just don't know of a solution, okay? So they're aware. They're aware that, okay, I know I'm in a job I really don't like and I want to be doing something else, but I don't know how. They're aware, right? Where buyer number one is probably in that job that they don't like, but they don't really acknowledge it because they can't even fathom of thinking. They might be too nervous to think of, oh, I want to do something else, because they really don't think there's anything else out there. So they don't even acknowledge that it is a problem. They just live in it. They just stay in that place. Or they don't even realize they're bloated, right? They feel that and then they're like, well, this just must be the way I am, right? They're not aware, right? That there could be a solution for that symptom, that problem that they have. But this buyer number two, yeah, they're aware. I am bloated, I feel uncomfortable. They acknowledge it. They're at that next level up. They're more conscious to it. That's a good word to use. Level one buyers are more unconscious to it. It's there, but they're unconscious. Level two buyers, they're conscious of it. There's awareness around it, but no idea of a solution, okay? This is gonna be a lot of people. This is probably where I was at when I was introduced to what I do now. I was level two. I'm aware that I don't wanna be doing this forever, but I have no idea of a solution that it could be, right? So you start with a symptom and then you go into what the problem is. So I could say, for example, what the problem, there could be so many different, right, ways that you could form this, which is great because you can create all sorts of content around it. But I could say something like, you know, nobody taught us this in school. Nobody taught us that we could actually be an entrepreneur without massive startup, right? It's not something society wants the world to know how to do. That's the problem, right? It's not you. You're not the problem. We just weren't taught that in school. That's not something that they wanted to make a thing, right? You never learned how to work for yourself. You don't have thousands of dollars to invest. That could be the problem. You know you want to do something else, but you don't have all this money. You think it takes all this overhead cost to start your own business up from the ground. That's the problem. So I can speak to that, right? There's so many ways you can take this. Problem if you're bloated. Just another one to give you guys some other examples. Symptom, I'm bloated. Problem, I know that I'm bloated, don't know what it is. The problem could be, what I can insert is, it's your gut health. Maybe you're eating healthy, maybe you're exercising, you're doing all the things right, you're sleeping good at night, you're not having too much caffeine, like whatever. Your gut health is out of whack. You've never tried any sorts of probiotics, you haven't given it that, you don't eat a lot of fermented food, I don't know, right? Like gut health things. This is what the problem is. Here, I know how you feel with your symptom, here's your problem. When you can then identify for these buyers at level two buyers, when you can say, this is the problem, boom, now they're interested. because they know their symptom and you've given them a clarity around this is what the problem is. When there's awareness and a consciousness around this is the problem, or this can be the problem for you, this might be what it is, highly likely, then you can go to the next step. But now they're zoned in, now they're locked in. Oh, she gets me, she's in my head, she knows what my symptom is, she knows how I feel really, and she actually understands and made it a tangible thing. It's your gut health. This is the problem. You weren't taught this in school. It's not your fault you don't know how to work for yourself, because they told you it's going to cost thousands of dollars. You don't know another way. That's the problem. It's now like a tangible thing. You guys following, right? When you can create that sense of I understand and this is what it is kind of thing for someone, they're going to attach more to you. She gets me. This makes sense. Got it. Okay? Another problem that I just have written here just so you guys can see all my examples. For someone who wants to work for themselves, don't know how, they want to build it on social media, don't know how, they have that symptom. Problem is you feel like you don't have a large enough following. That's your problem. That's a lot of people's problem, actually, is I don't have a large enough following. I don't know how to grow a following. I can't do it. I can't build a business because I don't have a big enough following. Boom, boom. Here's your problem. I have a solution. Okay, number 3 buyer. A number 3 buyer notices that you have a solution, right? Because you've shared it. We did this last week. Symptom, problem, solution, how to share these. And now this is with the buyer psychology. This is the state that your buyers are in and who you're speaking to and how our content can hit all of these sorts of spots, okay? Number 3 buyer notices that you have a solution. Your solution is your business. It's your product, it's your service, it's your vehicle. Insert thing. You feel bloated, it's your gut health, here's my product, and this is why it's the best. You want to work for yourself, you don't know how, you feel like you don't have a large enough following, you don't feel like you can invest, here's my business, low investment, no following needed, I have a solution for your problem. So, again, I'm giving you some examples of what it would look like in my world. Make it make sense for your world. There's so many different ways that you can play with this, but hitting these 3 targets, key, okay? So this person, level 3 buyer, this is a great place to be. They notice you have a solution. They're like, oh, she has something. This could be for me. This could be helpful for me. This, I can see how that could help, and they're curious. This is where curiosity starts to happen. Most people are gonna be a 1, then some people out of those 1s are going to turn into a 2, and then they're going to turn into a 3. Like, you're kind of taking people through this funnel, this process, right? So how to speak to a buyer 3. They know you have a solution. They just, a little curious now. Sharing testimonials, the before and afters, proof of it working, proof of these wins. This is where your educational content will speak to people, right? I spoke about this before. People are just plastering education, top tips, how to, all these smart things, but they're not getting into the emotion. They're not getting into the feelings. They're not saying to someone, I understand how you feel. But if it's a buyer number 3, they're going to love your educational content. They're going to love the how-tos because you already identified their symptom and their problem. Let me show you how. Let me show you what's next. Let me show you blah, 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 blah. Right? You guys are kind of catching the drift with this. Paint the vision of what it would be like on the other side of working with you. I'm the solution. This business is the solution. This product is the solution. This will help. This will fill the gap that you now understand is there. Insert solution. Okay? Now you're starting to make it clear of what's possible. You can show your wins. You can show the other side. If you guys are showing your wins and success and all of these things and look how good I look and look how successful I am, without acknowledging the symptom and the problem and the behind the scenes of your story to connect with people, it's just all noise. Like, and a lot of people make that mistake of like, just look how great I am, showing that solution part, but they don't speak to how people are actually feeling in their reality today, right now, which is so important. But then once you've done that, you got to step into your authority, right? This is where the authority can come in, the leadership, like I'll show you the way sort of vibes. Confidence is going to kick up in this. So now you're painting the vision of what it would look like to work with you when they start to use the products in 2 weeks, in a month, in 6 months. This is what you can expect from it. Here's some real clients that absolutely love it. Incredible, right? You can start to share things like that. That's going to speak to your buyer 3 people. Buyer number 4, They know the symptom, they know there's a problem, they're seeing solutions. They have seen your solutions, and maybe they've seen a lot of other people's solutions as well. They're consuming the content, they're listening to the podcast, they're seeking out a solution, and they are going to buy. Now it's just a matter of when and who it's going to be with. Place yourself as the best person to help them. Place yourself in that spot. Show them more behind the scenes. Get vulnerable, get real, talk with them, show them the behind the scenes of your systems, show them you actually living out. If you're building in this business and you're growing and you're thriving, do things that show you like walking the talk that you say. Show those success stories, show that. And your passion and your leadership, you guys, you don't need to have a huge success story yourself to show this part. You need to show yourself as someone who cares and is excited and is here to stay and is showing up each and every day, building their thing and really stepping into that. They can just tell, they'll feel it off of you. You don't have to show all these fancy things or designer bags or you're flying first class and all this stuff. Like, no, that's not what I mean. It's putting yourself in that position of like, I'm building this business, I'm growing this, I'm on the way to help as many people as I can. This is what I'm doing. Here's what it looks like to work with me. Like, you get me, like, so exciting. You're kind of selling yourself at this point of like, I'm your girl. A lot of people miss this part because they don't want to be salesy, they don't want to be annoying, they don't want to be weird, they don't want to be like, they don't want to do the selling part. But like, if you're missing this part, your buyers, you guys who are a buyer for right now, which you all probably have a few right now watching, you don't even know, they're gonna go buy from someone else. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. If you don't give them that next best step, this I'm your girl, the follow-up, all sorts of things like that, they're gonna go elsewhere with someone else who's really showing up like that or really connecting with them, communicating with them, doing those next steps with them. And you don't want that, right? You want to keep your leads, your hot leads like that, helping them with those next steps. Number 5 buyer, they are ready to buy. They just need a clear invitation from you. So 4 and 5 are pretty similar, but number 5 is literally like, okay, here's my credit card, like I'm ready to go, but they haven't gotten the invitation yet. So the invitation could literally be you asking what questions can I answer for you to help you get started. Favorite line ever, when I can tell now at this point with my experience when someone's at that point, amazing. What other questions do you have, or do you want to see the next best steps and we'll help you get signed up? Like a number 5 buyer, that's what I ask them. It might be a clear, maybe it's you sharing on your stories that you're open for enrollment right now. You have X amount of spots left. You're so excited to see who you're working with next. Maybe they need to see something like that from you. Maybe they need the one-on-one conversation with you of you clarifying any of those last questions. Or maybe they need that call and you need to book that call with them. Like, they need a clear something from you that walks them right away through those next best steps. Okay? So your content needs to speak to the buyer at all these stages, right? You're going to speak a lot towards the symptoms because that'll be the majority of people in your funnel right now is like, they don't even realize there's a problem. So you're going to speaking a lot towards them, and then a little less towards those who, you know, they have a problem, they just don't know what it is. And you can start to speak towards them of identifying this is what the problem is, and then going into the solution, which is where you speak to buyer number 3. They notice, they see, okay, this is the solution. They're curious, they want more. They need to see testimonials, they need to see wins. Number 4, they need to see you as the next best step. You're the leader, you're the you have the authority, you know what's up, you know where to lead them next. You have that confidence and you're backing that with how you show up and how you speak and how you're sharing as a business owner, right? You're really stepping into that. And then number 5 buyers, they just need that clear invite from you, you guys. That is it. I know this was a lot. Rewind, go back, sit with it, but it really does all start to mesh together as people go through this funnel. And as long as you are speaking to people in that simple symptom, problem, solution context, sharing that on your stories in different ways, play with it in your content, in your captions. How can you start to showcase that a little bit more throughout your content? And when you're in conversations with people, you'll start to get a vibe off of them of where they're at. Some of them might realize this is my problem. They might literally tell you this is what I'm kind of struggling with. Now they need support from you to see you as a solution, right? They don't even know what you have to offer, but it seems like you have something, but they don't really know yet. Okay, great. Let's get into that. Let's get into how this can fill the gap for you. And you just get so much better when you understand the buyer and their psychology and where their mind's at and what they're thinking. You practicing this, like it's a practice you got to get into now. It's not just hearing it from me and taking notes. Okay, I get it. You need to go and practice and talk with people and start to learn how you can showcase that and identify, I know how you feel with your symptoms. This is what the problem might be, and here's a solution to it. And speaking in that tone and that language with individuals one-on-one throughout your content as you're posting, like, you guys are going to realize there's so much more connection to be had. There's so much more clarity around your product, your business that you can offer. You're going to ask better questions naturally to kind of find where they're at on terms of their buyer psychology, to understand them more as you go. And then it's just moving them through that filter. So a lot of people talk to someone, boom, I want you to be a 5. Right? You talk to someone, they show any sort of interest, you're like, oh, you're a 5. You know, that's what amateurs will do. They'll be like, oh, they're ready to go, they're interested, I want to make sure they have everything that they need so that they can do the next step and sign up. No, when someone shows interest in my DMs, they say, send me more information, I'm interested. Amazing, I'm so excited to chat more. Can you tell me where you're located? First, I need to qualify them. A lot of you guys are talking to people who aren't even qualified. They're not of age, they're not in the right location, you need to qualify. And what stood out to you from my content? What captured your attention enough to reach out to me? Like, I'm excited to learn more about you. Get to know them. They'll tell you what they're looking for. You can ask people, have you had experience like this before? Have you done something like this? Have you tried supplements before? What are you on right now? Like, learn about them. And we're gonna get all into this in this series, you guys. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm giving you a little taste of what's to come throughout this mini series so that you guys can get so much stronger in your content, so much stronger in your conversations, and you feel so good. You feel so good selling. Not only are you actually selling and getting yeses and things are happening now, but you feel so good. You feel helpful. Like, that's what we want. We want to feel so helpful. I feel so helpful when I'm in conversations with people now, regardless of where it goes. If it's a yes, if it's a no, if it's a maybe, that's a whole other thing that we should talk about, and we have talked about lots, is like your emotional regulation and intelligence of being good with whatever happens. But now you're going to feel so helpful with every single conversation, with each individual, with every piece of content that you post. You know it's really going to speak to somebody. Each time that you do, your business is going to move forward and their life is going to get better. Like, doesn't that just feel so good to know that? Anyway, this was not mini, this was a full-blown episode. But I hope you guys liked this. Please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram, screenshot, tag me at It's Amy Griffith or at My Elevated Lifestyle Co on Instagram. I love to know what helps you guys, because if I know and I hear from you and I'm seeing you guys sharing it, that tells me, oh, we want more like this. And yeah, that's really helpful. And I'm so grateful that it's also helping you guys as well, because I am cheering for all of your success and your wins. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week for episode 3 of our mini series. Bye, you guys.